Deutschmark or French franc. It is now the euro. And in addition to that, there are other countries that utilize the euro. I think I have a slide, next slide down. Other countries that are not part of the European Monetary Unit but have, through agreement, allowed to use the euro: Andorra, Monaco, San Marino, and Vatican City, which are all city-states. Kosovo and Montenegro have adopted the euro on their own. And then other countries like Croatia and Poland, where they're limited use. It's kind of like if I go to Mexico, I can use my dollars if somebody will accept them, which they usually will. So the thing about the euro, where is it? Well, I'll just talk. So the euro's, again, back to the supranational IGO concept. When you think of a currency, you normally associate the currency with a particular country. So like the US dollar, Canadian dollar, peso, Mexico, etc. The euro is fundamentally different in many ways. Yes, it's a currency, but it is a currency not of a country, it's a currency of an IGO. And it's really unique in that respect. Now, why do I point that out? Again, it's a fundamental change in international law. Historically, a currency was representative of a sovereign, be it gold or silver historically, or whatever shells or whatever historically have been used as currency, a medium of exchange, was always representative of the power that was the sovereign. And the currency was essentially backed by the sovereign. So if the sovereign fell, the currency fell. So the euro is kind of fundamentally different in that it is not a treaty of a particular country, it is a currency of a treaty. Now I want you to think about that for a minute. So a currency, in terms of monetary value, it's a piece of paper. It doesn't have any intrinsic value. The value isn't of something you can exchange it for a good or a service or property. So the value of a currency is inherent in its acceptance of use and the value that's attributed to it because it is accepted for use. Normally that's because it's a sovereign state, and normally, or historically, the stronger the sovereign, the stronger the currency. So interesting thing about the euro being a currency of a treaty is member states may have vastly different economic power and resources, but the treaty itself establishes the currency value in a way. Now the flip side to that is that can lead to problems if you think about it. If any of the member states engage in economic policy themselves that may violate EU law, that also has an effect on the currency and the value of the currency, which theoretically could destroy the euro as a currency because it's not of a sovereign. We saw here a few years back the euro was in crisis a little bit, primarily with Greece and some other countries' monetary policy, and it was feared that would unravel the euro. Didn't. So it passed that test. That's always been a concern of mine, is it's a currency of a treaty, not of a country. Now the euro, in my own opinion, works very, very well. It's very efficient. You can go from one country to the next, obviously not have to do exchanges. You don't have to carry all sorts of different denominations and different currencies with you when you travel or do business. So in that respect, from an economic theory standpoint and a political standpoint, it also provides stability. Again, post-World War II, one of the goals of the IGOs post-World War II is to provide stability and hopefully reduce war. And having a common currency also does that because it's commonly accepted. So You know, there's political and other theory behind, not just economic and trade theory. Now, where crypto is going to fit into that, that's yet to be seen. You know, what is crypto? It's a 1 and a 0 in a computer, but it has value because it's perceived to have value. So we'll see how that plays out. But in that respect, the euro is kind of, in a way, kind of like the first crypto, sort of. Predates Bitcoin. All right. Oh, there's one other point on that. So again, on this whole notion of a supranational IGO, this is another manifestation of this evolution, if you will, of IGOs, not taking on authority of a sovereign-like entity. You know, again, normally we would associate a currency with a country, but the euro is not of one country, it is of an IGO. So it's a currency of an organization, a fundamental, novel thing where we assign value to an organization as a almost sovereign-like entity. So it's fundamentally different in that respect. So that's another facet of that supranational IGO uniqueness that the European Union has. Now, will that be the model going forward in history with other countries establishing the same kind of thing? You know, look out decades or even centuries, perhaps. Perhaps that's the trend.